Maybe just having to focus on more of a lightning storm build, and it'll turn into a spam fest. But it should still be Lina having the harassment edge.
Yeah. I mean, can always get called out against Leshrac, though. That's what we've seen.
Yes.
If you take a step too far forwards, that's when Earth comes through. It can all go horribly wrong. Let's start with a bit of fighting here going in. Wow, Boxy just charging straight on through here. Innocence might be getting caught out. The damage is coming through thick and fast from Liquid. They're going to need a couple more clicks, but I think they're going to find it. LGD might be giving away first blood here on Innocence. Wow, they've already backed away on Mickey, actually. He's just leaving him for dead. Boxy, can he finish the job? One more right click, just about finds it. And that'll be first blood going to the Primal Beast.
The drift on that onslaught was sick. We talked in the last chance qualifiers a little bit about like, oh, how many heroes does Boxy have? Feels like he's only played like 3, maybe 4, and suddenly he's got this Primal Beast that they're busting out. And it's been looking good.
Yep, definitely. Adapting well, constantly looking to stretch out their hero pool. And that's what you have to do at TI, right? Like, the more heroes you can play, the better, because you won't make a deep run with a shallow hero pool.
Yeah, and I like this a lot from Liquid, actually putting the Primal Beast with the Bristleback, just because I think it's much easier for the Primal Beast to be able to leave this lane, whereas if he was laning with the Beastmaster, I think he's kind of forced to just sit there. So better to just let the Undying handle that job, and this way maybe they can even get some pressure on mid.
Not well, Boxy has his charge cut short by ZQ, just tossed him into the air there. But Marty really kind of putting the harassment onto Faith Beyond here. But why is the Bristle so good against the Enigma?
Well, previously it was because the only thing that could kill Eidolons was physical damage, and Bristleback was like one of the only heroes in the game that had AoE physical damage in the laning stage. That's changed a little bit, but it's still, that's kind of the dynamic here, that you can just run at him.
Yeah, he's definitely doing that. Right under the tower, like the Primal Beast and Bristleback lane. Middle lane, rotation in. Mickey gets a kill onto Nothing to Say with the help of Boxy. They pushed so deep in that top lane that it was actually impossible to really see Boxy moving across. Beautiful movements there from Liquid.
Well, it's not going to be a clean 1v1 here. Looks like Boxy's planting his flag on the mid lane that he's going to come and make some plays. The first couple of waves were really good for Nothing to Say, but if we keep getting these Primal Beast ganks, I don't know how much we're going to be able to read into the actual matchup here.
Who cares? Because I'm bored of these matchups. You know, we had an entire patch of like, oh, hold up, top lane, moving. Bristle's way too tanky. They jump all their spells on him and he's down to like half HP and they're like, oh, okay, never mind.
They do need to punish him if Boxy's going to be constantly out of this lane. That's the tricky thing about the Primal Beast is it only, especially with First Blood and Boots, it's only going to take him a few seconds to run over towards mid and already be charging up the onslaught. So, yeah, Nothing to Say really going to have to be on his toes. Would even be nice to have a ward up here.
Luckily, he is very loud when he's moving across, so you always get a little bit of warning when he's about to run at you, but by that time, it's often a bit too late.
Yeah, and I wonder if LGD just weren't anticipating that this could be the laning configuration. Oh, nicely done by GQ. That was great. I guess if you're on the line and there's nothing else around, you can just spam it, right? There's like, you can just sit there mashing toss, and the instant that he comes close enough, you'll just stop him.
Yeah, I guess you're right. That's probably how it's going. In the bottom lane, Insane, you're in a bit of trouble, being eaten up by Arme. And then there's going to be a kill going to the Lifestealer. So, big catch down in the bottom lane. Going to give Arme the start he needs.
Primal Beast trying to hide behind the trees at mid is absolutely comical. He's got arms sticking out. But, yeah, okay. I really think that LGD were not expecting that Boxy would be playing from the top side, because they've got this ward on their own high ground in the jungle. And I think that's where they were expecting to see the rotations come from. But instead, he's coming from the top side, and now they're going to have to just give another ward for mid. Oh, Innocence stepping up.
Sierra's in at mid, but yeah, I think Innocence might be in trouble, though. The Glimpse Back's going to buy him a little bit of time as Boxy moving out of trouble over to the water rune. Insania still chasing down Innocence, but no, he's going to give up the goat.
Innocence can still just head back to the fountain, give Nothing to Say a reset. We said that mid lane was going to be important, and we have certainly seen that from the supports so far. Everybody's attention is on this lane.
Wait, did he have vision for that? I feel like
Jinq getting gone.
Yeah, he is still going to die here. I almost feel like he preemptively casted that avalanche up on the high ground there. I'm not sure, to stop himself getting stunned, but
he had an obs until it got dewarded, which was not too long ago. So I think they had an idea. Yeah.
Setting up for that. Well, does go down all the same, but was able to grab his team the bounty rune, so not a completely meaningless death, but still probably not a great trade either.
He denied the bounty, he comes back in, he refills the bottle. I don't think he's too unhappy about how that's gone.
Overall, Lifestealer Arme doing very, very well. Down in the bottom lane. 59 last hits and 11 denies. Luna sitting on a similar score in the middle lane. Not a bad start for LGD, except for Faith Beyond, who we will not pay attention to.
He's got 15 denies. What can you ask for?
True. Not like he gets them free or anything. Tombstone being eaten up. Arme's going to be able to grab that one. Zai tries to deny, but doesn't quite land it. Nice little jukes out there from Arme to make sure he gets the gold for that. And yeah, they're just shoving them back. Meanwhile, in mid, nothing to say, getting stunned up. Well, Xinkyu as Boxy makes yet another rotation in, just trying to shove the pressure into PSG.LGD. Support in the middle lane at all times at the moment, and now once again fighting for these power runes. As it comes down to Boxy to hold him back. Avatos from Xinkyu as well, but the rune, it does spawn bottom, and Insania is waiting for it. It's going to be a haste rune. Can they save it for Mickey? Nothing to say really, just wants to go and force the someone else to take it, but the stun's actually there. Mickey gets it from the low ground. Insania going to pick up the haste rune and try and come over to help with this one. Lightning is out. It's not enough damage to bring down. Nothing to say, but there he comes. The hasted Undying with the soul rip. Claps him.
He's still got haste. I think Innocence is also dead here.
This is so much value, and now the trample comes out from Boxy as well. Absolutely right. Insania going absolutely crazy with this haste rune mid.
Man, early game's going well for them. They got a little bit of a net worth lead, and they've been stacking the Ancients the whole time as well. I think this has just been, yeah, we can see this time around Zai sending the boar back. He's just been getting these stacks consistently. That's going to be a huge spike of gold for Matu once he comes over to claim it.
Oh, some pretty sick micro coming out from Zai there, just you know, kind of realizing that his lane ain't going so great, so might as well give someone else on his team a good game.
Yeah, I don't think he's planning on taking it himself because he hasn't gone for any points in the Wild Axes just yet. So maybe he'll go and swipe a couple last hits or grab some of the experience when they go to clear it, but not really something that LGD can look to contest. Got a wraparound from Jin-Q.
Those Ancients belong to Matu, but they are moving forward here onto Zai, and well, Insania's coming over, Soul Rip, Decay, what can he really do though? Not contributing the Tombstone to this one, there is a glimpse available, and the damage from that will finish off Zai.
I'm sorry, Ame, I need boots. The glimpse kill is mine.
Has been killed.
Still catches me off guard sometimes, a glimpse does damage, but we've seen it enough times recently. Boxy getting onto Jin-Q here, Jin-Q getting absolutely smashed, and Mickey will come across with a nice little lightning bolt to finish the kill.
They're just everywhere on the map. Mickey and Boxy making the plays together. It's looking good, and Matu able to just solo this lane completely up at top. Shades of what we saw some teams trying over the course of the Last Chance qualifier, which was, I think it was even Liquid, like forcing the Tidehunter 1v1 against the Enigma, and then just not really caring. And it feels like the Bristleback is kind of the same story here.
Yeah, you pick this obnoxious laner? Well, we're just going to be happy with the 1v1 matchup here.
Yeah.
What's happened. And he's got an Ancient stack waiting for him on Matu. Should be able to catch up with Arme when he goes and takes those.
Yeah, he's hardly behind as it is. And it's going to be nothing to say. He has to start getting some stuff done. They get the toss back onto Boxy.
Yeah, let's say to follow. Laguna Blade committed as well. Avalanche is there, and Boxy onslaught away. No way. All right, the Glimpse gets it. Wow, Glimpse, what a spell. Might as well call it Dagon.
Yep, Disruptor. It's got 2 kills since it's getting going. It's got to start getting those Aghanims funds built up.
Zai is trying to do a bit of jungling here. It's a little bit hairy though. They tried to commit the Tombstone to help him out, but without these axes, it's proven pretty difficult to take this hard camp.
Yeah. He's floating a skill point. I wonder if he's thinking, like, if I take the axes, then I can farm this, and that'll get me. Maybe that gets me the roar. Probably trying to curate this camp a little bit as well for when his Helm of the Dominator is ready to go. As more rotations from Boxy and Mickey, they are just everywhere this game.
Wow, look at this. Faith Beyond getting jumped here. He does have the stick for the flag hole if he really wants to throw it down. Catches 3 inside of it. His time is limited. Healed up by Arme though. That'll keep him alive. They bring down Mickey. Move across to the 2-man. Faith Beyond does fall. Matu trying to TP away from this one. Glimp's going to cancel that out. He's dead. 2 heroes gone on the side of Liquid. Might be 3 as Boxy chasing to the tree line here. He's got the onslaught in just 1 second. But where are you going to go? Deeper onto the enemy side of the map. No TP available for 30 seconds. Boxy's days are numbered. Projectile leader comes through to finish the job. Beautifully done from PSG.LGD.
Oh, that infest was sick. That was so cool from LGD, and a crucial turnaround for them. You know, early game was getting away from them a little bit. Really important that they get a couple of kills on nothing to say. I think the Lina not having quite the early game that they were maybe expecting. So getting into those BOT is going to be really important.
Here we see it again. So he's got a wand to get the mana, and then they're like, well, it doesn't matter. He's going to die anyway to the Leshrac. But nope, Arme comes over, heals his teammate up.
I think the coolest thing for me from LGD is that they let the Lifestealer TP first. They knew that he was actually the save. Like, Innocence TP'd on the tier 2.
Dire's structures are fortified.
Very nice indeed.
Dire's top tower.
Oh, Liquid put back in their place a little bit here is LGD proving this ain't going to be one of their early game washes, that's for sure. LGD are putting up a fight, and a damn good one at that.
Is under attack.
I don't know if the smoke got spotted by the Hawk. There's nothing to say in Jinky. We're heading down towards bottom. Boxy just trying to tank it.
Oh man, look at this again. Another very aggressive TP onto Matu. Matu just going to start to stack it up as Boxy falls, but the Roar is there onto the Lifestealer, but in comes Innocence from behind with the Static Storm, so Matu unable to keep stacking up these Pearl Sprays, and Arme just looking for the reset by jumping into Faith Beyond, but they're still chasing on Liquid. They are not done. Mickey coming across as well. They know they've got to go for Faith Beyond. He carries a very precious cargo, and out pops that cargo onto Mickey. They'll heal him up with the Soul Rip, but is he got enough health to live through this? Mickey will fall. Arme looking low, but running away. The Lifestealer's going to get away on the sidelines. Matu's still trying to chase, does get him range for the Viscous Nasal Goo. Up to the high ground. We shall go, but the Glimpse is there to drag him back, and that will be that. The Lifestealer escapes. Meanwhile, Zinky on the backlines, not looking quite so lucky here. Matu will take his consolation prize, but it's not who he wanted.
Middle tower is under
What a
attack.
slugfest. 8-9. Net worth leads going back and forth. Liquid will probably take it back once they clear out the Ancients. But neither team giving up an inch of the map without a fight is some really cool Dota to watch.
Yeah, that's insane. The tempo these guys are playing at. It's 12 minutes into the game, and the amount of rotations, the amount of movements that every single hero has made has been absolutely ridiculous.
Out of all of this, Faith Beyond kind of struggling. He doesn't even have boots yet. He's just trying to straight rush the Wraith Pact as fast as humanly possible. I think we've probably seen it faster than this, just based on the fact his net worth is not looking incredible. And he's sitting right on top of a Hawk currently, so...
Yeah, and Liquid, they're going to come over. They got the level 6 on Boxy, so this should be a fairly straightforward kill here. Nothing to say. I'm not sure that's a neighborhood. TP's just immediately leaves, like, don't mind me, guys.
I'm just here to farm. You do whatever you want. I'll see that creep win in a second. Oh, Static Storm getting dropped onto Insania. It was just de-warding. He's dead.
Yeah, Zinky's there to follow up as well. Just give them the damage they need. Dying support staff. Well, I mean, where does the dust settle here? I kind of feel like it doesn't, because everyone's just kind of even at the moment. There's no clear advantage. Whose turn is it to make a move?
My concern for LGD is still kind of the Enigma and the Tiny. Enigma especially, net worth is looking tricky. Jinkyu, they're giving him the lane dedicated down at bottom just to grab his blink. He's actually 1600 gold towards it, so if he can get that before anything else crazy happens, that's going to be a pretty big deal.
Yeah, that seems unlikely with how the pace of this game has been going, but I think Liquid seemingly splitting up a little bit and doing a bit of efficiency play at the moment, so...
Yeah, they're taking a second. I think they're waiting for the Ags on the Bristle, the Bloodstone on the Lesh. Both of those are coming up pretty quickly. So, I think Jinky's going to have the time. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how the Bristleback does. You know, this was the carry for a little while, and then he got a whole bunch of nerfs, and just not quite as strong necessarily as he used to be. Some of that was base nerfs, some of that was talents. And it's one of those heroes where, you know, either he survives on 10% HP and he kills absolutely everybody and he looks ridiculous, or he just dies at the beginning of the fight because he's not facing the right way and he gets Laguna Blade and he doesn't have enough items, and he looks like kind of a joke. So just have to see which version you get.
They managed to catch outside down here. Nice catch again from Innocence, and nothing to say as they close the gap onto this Beastmaster. LGD getting a bit of a punish coming in. Liquid looking for some counter aggression. Arme is a very tricky target to bring down, though, and Insanio is actually being just ran at by this pesky Lifestealer. Matu coming around the back, but the rage is there for Arme just to get himself back, so knew he's not in any real trouble. And this is such confidence from Arme as well, just completely by himself, chasing a support under a tier 1 tower. He knows that whoever TP's in, it won't be enough to bring him down.
Again. Foxy's got his number. Gets brought down. I like that a lot from Ame. As soon as the Beastmaster's dead, who can stop you from rage TPing, right? So the instant that happens, you're just free to go and do absolutely whatever you want on the map. Absorb all of the space.
That'll be a very interesting game. So Bristle is now 900 gold off his Angnum Scepter, and again, seems like Liquid are being a bit patient and waiting for that, even letting their middle tower fall. My one concern is that after this BKB, the traditional build from Lina is going for the Silver Edge, and I imagine that's going to be the same this game, because you can break that Bristle and maybe find an opportunity to kill him off.
Yeah, nothing to say not really committing one way or the other to the physical damage or the magical damage build. Like you're saying, I think we're probably leaning physical damage here. The idea of this Lina versus the Lesh, or these long-range damage dealers against the Leshrac that we've seen, is just plink him down and don't let him get in on top of you. The Silver Edge certainly going to be very nice if they can get there. And Blink Dagger up for Jin Q. He does get rid of that sentry, so they Liquid know that he's got this one picked up.
They do, but PSG.LGD, they are feeling confident. They know their timings, and they are inside Roshan right now. Liquid, what is your response? I mean, they're still waiting for this Agnins on the Bristleback. They have the Bloodstone on Mickey, but it seems like they're just not turning up to this area. Whether they know it's happening or not, I don't know. Well, they do, actually. They've got a Hawk, of course they do.
Yeah, they see this, but taking this away from the Beastmaster lineup, pretty big. Liquid rushing over to maybe even take the fight after the Roshan. It's not dead yet. I'm taking too much damage.
A pretty big miscalculation here from PSG.LGD could lead to a very messy fight indeed.
Oh, this is so awkward.
Yeah. Liquid moving in. They see, oh, well, that's a very low health Roshan. Where's not smoke popped? Curious. LGD looking for the wraparound onto the enemy high ground, thinking twice about it. Thank you. Oh no, he sees the zombie. That means his blink is going to get popped here. And he knows what's happening inside this pit. Faith Beyond. They can't get across, they can't do anything. Jinkyu jumps in, can he get the steal? Yes, he can! Jinkyu gets the Aegis out of the hands of Matumba Man. He will be falling for this, but what will be the price? Arme gets roared on the sidelines here, but don't feel like they have the damage to focus him. They will look instead towards a tiny, huge steal from Jinkyu. Will be dying for his efforts, but that's going to take the wind out of Liquid's sails. Does take the shine off it slightly, that it was initially LGD's attempt to go for Roshan. It's very complicated in this game, basically.
Yeah, I think that's still overall what LGD wanted, right? Like you say, kind of slows the roll from Liquid. The plan a lot of the time with these Beastmaster lineups is roll down the tier 1 towers, head into the Roshan, gear that up on your position 1, and just keep on trucking. So for LGD, it just has to continue to be this bend but don't break playstyle. And they're making it work thus far, but as we've seen, Liquid are hitting some pretty massive timings.
Yeah, they are. They now have that Agnus finished on the Bristle, so they want to barrel down lanes, of course, without the Aegis. That will be a little bit tricky, but kind regards in Q on that one.
Yeah, that was a really nice play. Even got the last hit. Faith Beyond is still super struggling on the net worth department. Just doesn't seem to have any room to farm. They've seen Boxy and Mickey just hunting him absolutely non-stop.
Radiant's bottom tower
Yeah,
is
they
under
seem
attack.
unperturbed. Just gonna come group up for this bottom tier too.
Are fortified. Dire's top tower is under attack.
Yeah, fortification comes out, but they got another wave of creeps coming through, not showing any signs of stopping, but at the same time, PSG.LGD are mounting a bit of pressure up at top. Not to the same extent, and the bottom tower has already gone to Liquid, so let's see if they mount a defense at top. What do you think?
Dire's top tower is under attack.
They do have all of their TPs, but he might just have to let this one go.
Dire are
It's a little scary trying to get in there one by one, and very difficult to take that fight against the Disruptor. We've seen too many games, even at a TI level, right, where it's like, oh, we're playing against Disruptor. Oh, my carry just got glimpsed. Guess we lost the fight. Like,
well, what can you do?
yeah, and neither of their big cores, the Lesh nor the Bristle, have anything to be able to deal with the glimpse currently. So yeah, they can't do anything there. It just has to be another trade, and we continue to kind of coast along.
Yeah, game kind of, I don't know, it's definitely not falling into a stalemate because both teams are taking things of each other, but yeah, no team getting a big advantage over the other. Objectives just being traded out. Incredibly tense. Who's going to make that first big team fight move? I feel like it should be Liquid, but finding the opening seems hard.
Yeah, I don't actually think that either team is looking for a head-on engagement for a little bit. To me, this next couple of minutes is so there's a blink on the Tiny, and actually Lina opting to not does he have the Shadow Blade yet? He's just got a Chrysalis picked up, and now he's got a Linken's Q. So okay, I thought that was going to be the other pick-off piece for them, but different plan.
Open wounds out onto the Bristle back.
Yeah, the plan for Liquid is still very much try and get a pick off on one of these side lanes. His Eye's queuing up a Blink Dagger, so that's sort of how they get everything rolling, is find somebody, get a roar. They've got BOTs on the Leshrac as well, so he can come TPing into the creeps anywhere. It's going to be a lot of playing the laning game for the next couple minutes.
Here we go. Smoke up from Liquid. Moving into this area where nothing say is currently residing, but also fleeing very, very quickly.
They've got a ward that sees that the Enigma's top, so they
saw it.
Yeah, they know that one of the other cores has to be down here somewhere.
I think they saw the smoke though. Have you seen this ward they've got in the triangle?
Oh, right.
LGD? Yeah,
maybe. Yeah, they do seem to have backed away from it pretty smoothly.
Either in a fantastic read or they did see the smoke. I didn't quite catch it. But either way, nobody's going to die. Liquid just moving into the jungle, taking this area of the map. But again, LGD will just spill out into the top half of the map. It's kind of like this line between the two teams is constantly morphing, constantly changing, but it's never really leaning one way or the other. The map still belongs about 50-50 to each team.
Yeah, you can see that on the net worth as well. It's just, we're kind of flatlining. We haven't moved past a 1K advantage for a little while. This is a very, very close game. Almost got the Scotty up on the Lifestealer, so Ame very much the plan in the team fights is just go in, latch onto somebody, and that's kind of it. You can't ever really afford to back down. Hopefully your supporting cast is just going to bomb all of their spells around you and you're going to be absolutely fine.
But we haven't had over a 2,000 net worth advantage in this game yet, I don't think.
Yeah,
just looking at the graph here, there's no point in the game where...
Keeping it close. This is the kind of Dota that we like to see. Yeah.
Well. But I mean, as I said in the panel, and also we mentioned with this draft as well, Liquid, with this draft, they could have tried running at LGD, and they did try running at LGD, but LGD were able to answer them in quite a few kind of little plays, and now we're sitting a stalemate in 23 minutes. Has to feel a little bit LGD favored.
I think so. I do favor their lineup going a little bit later. The Bristle is not the kind of raid boss carry that he once was, and I think the Lifestealer has some really nice matchups this game.
Yeah.
And then not to mention the Enigma. We talk about the Disruptor as well going into the later stages.
That's for me.
So, yeah, I think this is good for LGD.
Yeah, you've kind of got these two disco ball core heroes on the side of Liquid. Hang on, Boxy might be caught here. Innocent season. More interest in the wards first, glimpse after. But the BKB there from Boxy, so he is just going to let himself live.
Dang. If his early game hadn't been so good, he wouldn't have had that BKB at that point. Fox is putting in work, and that is going to keep him alive. LGD might be able to go and look for another one. You know, lanes are still not in a terrible position. They can just let the Eidolons do the job at mid. Actually, Liquid, I think they've just hit 2 more BKBs. Yeah, Mickey's got, the Tumbaman's got. So this is big timing for them. And they've got the blink on the Beastmaster, just lining everything up at the exact same moment to go run at LGD now.
Do you think that the Lifestealer is strong enough to just walk into the middle of this fight with all the Liquid's bots going on and just hit either the Bristleback or the Leshrac with open wounds and survive through it?
Yeah, I think so. So long as his team is nearby, so that if a roar comes out, they can like punish with an avalanche or blink black hole. I think that's very much the plan for LGD.
Some great positioning from them. BKB going to be bought from Matu straight off the bat. They're looking for the targets. They want to bring down Faith Beyond. No black hole. Does get used. Immediately killed off though as they look on the sidelines with nothing to say as well. BKB and Lee, but the roar is out onto Lifestealer. He talked about his team, but they are not here. Nobody is home to the side of PSG.LGD, and they will run down Arme. No response available from the PSG.LGD side. So Liquid will be taking this fight.
Radiant's top tower.
They were just not expecting them to be right there. Beyond positioning a little bit compromised. They wanted to move forward, but Lifestealer just too close to the Enigma. Lifestealer needs to be the first point of contact. Instead, they just walk right past him and bop Faith Beyond.
Yeah. It's about hiding in the trees, using guerrilla tactics in this game, but working absolutely beautifully. That's no Monkey King, that's a Bristleback.
And it's going to be quite a lot of punish on the map, especially now that the black hole is on cooldown. Faith Beyond dying like that does mean that they're probably going to have to surrender just a huge chunk of the map to Liquid at this point.
Liquid, though, they're still not willing to push for any objectives right now, just because they know that Roshan is in the respawn zone. If they end up messing something up here, feeding away a kill or something, then it could backfire on them massively. So I think that's why they're not committing, right?
Yeah, and a little bit of good luck for LGD in that the Roshan respawn ends up being almost exactly the black hole cooldown. So they're going to be able to get that back up.
Jump in, middle lane. It's going to be the Tiny called out this time around, and Jinq doesn't have a play out of this one. He's going to end up dying. Poor old Tiny, reduced to dust. Now Liquid come charging up the high ground. They recognize how important this Tiny is to the initiation of PSG.LGD, so happy to just go and threaten him with the black hole still down.
Yeah, teams have gotten really good at this. It's a... Look, LGD, you're not allowed to be out on the map while you don't have your big cooldowns. We are fully in control, and Liquid just setting up for the Roshan pit. They do have a full Daedalus now on Nothing to Say, so if he gets to just stand there and go turret mode, I think part of the plan here is that you can only roar one of them, either the Lifestealer or the Lina, and, well...
Jump in, roar out onto the Lina. Oh my god, Zai. A little bit too quick there, Nothing to Say. Even if you did get off the BKB, I'm not convinced you would have been able to get out of that one. That is a big loss for PSG.LGD. Just so close to bringing down that tower, but gets baited and, yeah, dies.
Boxy gave up on camping the Roshan. He just waited an extra 5 seconds, though. That may have been tricky for him as PSG.LGD in the neighborhood. Picked up a gem to try and secure a little bit more control. But with no Lina, this is a very difficult fight.
And it's 40 seconds until they have both the Lina and the Enigma, so they're going to hit really
and it's a double damage, of course. All right.
Oh my god.
Well, there was some luck for LGD on the respawn time, but a little bit of luck for Liquid on the double damage. We've got to keep things even this game. You know, it's been very back and forth. Jinq, can you do it again, buddy? I think your team needs you to.
A little bit harder than last time. They have got the vision inside the pit. Jinq running over, going for it. No way, no way, no way. He doesn't get it this time around. Matu gets that Aegis, and Jinq doesn't make it a second time. Oh, so close though.
If not for the Hawk, I think he would have had a decent shot, but Liquid were kind of able to mess with him a little bit. Boxy doing a nice job keeping everybody back. And, well, Liquid just going to be able to keep on pressuring. Still have not really seen what this Nothing to Say Lina is able to accomplish in these fights.
Yeah, wasn't able to accomplish a tier 1 tower down at bottom lane, that's for sure.
It's a sad one. Maybe Faith Beyond can sneak over somewhere nearby, pop down some Eidolons, and they can finish that one off. it shouldn't matter too much.
It's stands as a testimony to man.
Yeah. It's a tombstone for nothing to say. Okay, the lead is now going to properly accelerate for Liquid. They can just get all of the lanes shoved in, able to play even more split up, not having to worry while Matumba Man has this Aegis. And LGD, it's still, keep bending. Hopefully snap back in one all-important team fight, though that might have to wait for this Aegis to fall out of the hands of Matumba Man.
Time for LGD to sweat. It's time for them to be trapped. We talked about the morphing map earlier on, and then, well, LGD's map is not very big at all anymore. Now the Aegis is in the hands of Nutty. You can see how much this has changed the pacing of this game, and in a way, that's kind of why we saw Nothing to Say out so far at bottom earlier on. He just wanted to drag heroes down to this bottom side of the map. Just buy them enough time to get that black hole back up again. But it goes tragically wrong, and now they have Aegis on the side of Liquid.
And if he had succeeded in drawing like one TP down to bottom and then leaving, and then that had been right around when Roshan respawns, could have been a completely different dynamic around the pit. Could have been LGD finding their opportunity to start taking control of this game. But it's always the little things, and this is certainly one of those games. So we're going to have the Lincolns on the Lina. There's not that many ways to pop it, but it's also not impossible for Zai to deal with it. So we could still see this roar coming through, and that is.
Can he? Yeah, I guess he's got the Hum of the Overlord or the Hawk shot, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Two options of possibly popping that Lincoln Sphere, but of course. Easier said than done.
Service to imbalance.
LGD are smoked, and they're even popping a drum charge just to get out on the map a little faster and see what they can find. They know that somebody's going to come to this top wave. Mickey even blinking forward. They're pinging him now.
There might be more heroes than they expect.
Yeah. Liquid have a contingency plan.
Oh, it's a drag race. Liquid are actually driving away from PSG.LGD. LGD trying to pick someone up at the back here. It could be a dream entry to the fight. It could be awful. As BKB pop from Boxy, no hesitation as he jumps in, grabs the Undying, smacks it into the ground, but it's Arme on the back line, trying to get on top of Mickey, and they take down the big boy. Faithian is gone, so is Mickey. But Matumba Man looking for revenge, trying to get on top of Nothing to Say, and does so with ease, and now looks to his next target. That's going to be Innocence. Oh my god, gets smacked into oblivion. Arme moving to the tree line, needs to get away from this one. TP just comes off cooldown. His rage just runs out. Doesn't even matter though. The primal roar is there. Pulverizes in, and Arme is out. It's a triple kill for Matumba Man and a full 5-man team wipe for the side of P. That's for the side of Liquid.
Mickey putting his life on the line there, but I think really winning the team fight for his team. He blinks past everybody, finds Faith Beyond in the back, just mows him down, doesn't get to do anything in the fight, and completely paves the way for Matumba Man to make the plays happen.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
This poor Enigma doesn't get a chance to do anything in these fights,
Yeah, he blinked back defensively, and then Mickey just jumped on top of him with a blink dagger of his own.
Radiant's middle tower is
even
under
blinking
attack.
away from the engagements, he's not able to get out. It's just crazy.
And LG they can't seem to hold their formation at all. The backline's always getting jumped on. And Liquid continuing to extend this lead further and further. Nothing to Say had a moment of, we saw what he was capable of there, but it was just bringing down the two supports. And then all of a sudden he had a very big angry Bristleback in his face.
At the very least, the Aegis will now time out, but Liquid, they're able to take a lot from that Aegis. No high ground, but a big team fight and a lot of the map and all the tier 2s. It's a big bounty. They're moving under the Hawk right now as well. I wonder if Nothing will clock that. He just killed it off there. Actually, it doesn't really seem to matter to them. And I'm a little bit curious about what Shinky's aiming to achieve. Is it Foxy? He has a blink though, wow. Just blinks out of the range. He's playing with it right now. Ogre's sealing around. Oh, glimpse back. All right, no worries.
Liquid making a beeline. They've got in this area. They don't have the jump.
Oh no, Matu gets on top of Innocence, takes him down with ease, looking for the next target, has to sit inside that kinetic field for a little bit. A charge forwards from Boxy, but it does look like PSG.LGD have evacuated the jungle with ease.
If it's just the boss 5 that they lose, that's a small price to pay for PSG.LGD for what could have happened there.
Yeah.
I think as soon as they put down that sentry and found that they were sitting right on top of a ward, started sweating. Oh, and Tanya, we've seen this one before, trying to get the duo on high ground.
Yeah, he's going to pay the price for that as Lee's coming over. There were 2 heroes from Liquid that TP top to try and catch nothing to say, but nothing to say. He's connecting back with his team again. Black Hole's going to come down just onto Boxy. Not quite catching Matu in that one, but they do get the kill on to the Primal Beast. They just kind of deal with these dragons here, but he's going to get rolled up. Mickey in from behind as well. He needs a chance to get off the bridge. Jinky's going to try and give it to him, and he's going to be able to do exactly that. Turns around and eats up Matumba, man. Arme surviving and thriving through this fight. Mickey is just trying to bring down Jinky on the sidelines here. Arme needs to leave. He has got the infest. Jumps inside, nothing to say, and backs himself out. Meanwhile, back towards the other side of this fight. Innocence has been left behind just a little bit, and Mickey is going to try and run him down. There is help coming, but it's not going to be here very soon. Nothing to say is also on a Hawk here, so needs to be careful. The whole menagerie of that Beastmaster just running at them. Nothing to say, Lena. They will leave, but honestly, that was a good fight for the side of PSG.LGD. They took out the Bristleback.
Yeah, finally seeing what the Lena is capable of a little bit. Nothing to say, just going full turret mode. Clicks down the Bristle. Liquid a bit scattered. You can see as this fight starts, you know, they're not really there. The Leshrac and the Beastmaster are still just trying to run their way over from the top side of the map. Just takes them a long time to get there, and they can't seem to deal with the Lena just holding on to this high ground.
Yep, I love Faith Beyond's approach to that fight, you know? A black hole is better than no black hole. Also, no black hole at position 4 would kill him off. It's fine. Like, that's all he can contribute to the fight. That is absolutely fine. And he does throw a few spells from the sidelines as well.
Yeah, they finally get to have some structure to the fight.
Nothing to say. It's walking up into a very precarious position. How quick can he be on this BKB? The answer is very, as he turns around, just mows down Boxy. Boxy, though, very, very tanky. It's a TP out from the Lena, and no Beastmaster nearby. No, Cyber's not quite in the neighborhood.
Finger's not quite fast enough for Mickey. He just picked up that Hex.
That was a Hex he jumped on. Wow.
Yeah. Well, I guess he had to pop it because it's Lincoln's, right? So they had to start with something else, and then had to get a Soul Rip or something off first, and then they could Hex him. Yeah, the early warning system working as intended. Nothing to say after that last fight. Also picking up an AC here. It's getting some pretty furious right clicks going. It's actually going to be the Lifestealer who looks to pick up the Silver Edge. And we were a bit worried, you know, as this gets late, the Bristleback starts to fall off a little bit. Same can be true for the Leshrac. Jump in, throw back down to the low ground onto the Bristleback. Innocence, he's not happy with that, but he's going to be okay for the time being. Matu surviving through it as Boxy, looking for nothing to say. They've got the Hex down, but BKB due to earlier. Black Hole's going to come down though, trying to save him. Nothing to say, can he turn it around? They need to get on this Leshrac, and they will do exactly that. Nothing to say, healing through it all. Oh my god, so low, but just blasting out the damage to heal on through it. They pulverize her into the ground. Die, Lena, die. She will eventually fall, but Arme's going to clean up the kill onto Boxy. Arme just tearing through everyone in that arms, insane is going to be the next target. They will kill off the Undying 4 dead on the side of Liquid. Finally, PSG.LGD find a fight, bash out onto Zai as well. They will get yet another as they bring down Zai. 5 dead on Liquid this time. 1 minute still on Roshan though. The supporting cast from LGD playing out of their minds. The toss back, the save on the Lena there as he gets jumped in the backlines. Mickey thought he had NTS dead to rights, but patience from Faith Beyond. And feeling like maybe the game has just kind of turned at this point, Domad.
It's insane. Like, I want to watch this back. Where was this lifesteal coming from? Was that just from the Enigma? From the Wraith Pack Totem? Is that how much damage Nothing Sales pumping up? Look at that.
Yeah, I don't know if there was like an open wounds that had spread to somebody else or something. He got a little bit of a heal from the Lifestealer as well, but yeah, it's pretty crazy. It's not that much damage to get it to spread. For anybody who doesn't know what this is not just the original open wounds. Like, this is a very different open wounds that Lifestealer has as a shard. So every 500 damage, it splits off and goes onto another hero or another unit within 700 range. So it can be a real problem. And they lose. It does a lot of damage. 2% of the target's max health per attack from real heroes. So when you've got that synergizing with the Lina, nothing to say. It's just.
We all get a feast on this blessed day.
Yeah. Yeah. Very cool.
Very cool. Yeah. Well, they'll get the D ward once again. That pesky D ward, which messed them up earlier on. We'll let them get that toss down to the low ground. Yeah.
I mean, I think they even had Obs and Sentry there, but it was Innocent smoked up, walking to the hill, pops the ward down.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack. Dire are scanning.
Double damage bot that nobody's seen, but nothing to say now spots it. I think he had a double damage in that last fight as well. So RNG smiling upon Lina a little bit here.
Well, you know, Bristle did get one in front of the Roche pit earlier. So
yes,
it's
yes.
only fair.
All's fair.
Give a couple to Lina. You know, gotta have room control. If you don't have room control and you don't get a DD, then you can hardly complain about it. Hawk's coming over, but Xingqiu said no. Hits it with his tree. 25 now hit on the Leshrac though. It's got those Diabolic Edict explosions, so, you know, mostly very, very good for pushing, but not bad in fights either. That damage can start to stack up.
Yeah, it does give them this kind of potential if they win a fight at this point. Could be staring down the barrel of multiple lanes of Rax gone. There's nary a buyback to be seen in this game. I think there's just 3 available currently. A couple of heroes just working on the gold.
Yeah, everyone kind of feeling like there's going to be a bit of a lull in the action, but Roshan is now back up, so it is go time, and PSG.LGD doing the move. Interesting that actually the Edict explosions are going to synergize somewhat with the Viscous Nasal Goo, right? With the anti-armor from that, so could do more damage than we're used to seeing. As Marty just running to everybody, toss back though. They want to bring him down. Marty getting straight on top of the leader, but the leader just out-damages him massively. Down goes the Bristleback. Xingqiu being beaten up by Boxy. He's trying to get the return kill here for the Black Hole coming out onto 2 as they're swinging around the back lines here. Leader getting beaten down by Mickey, but Mickey getting beaten down by Arme. Both the calls turn on him, tear him apart. You can't fight into that, not without your Bristleback. Another huge tossback coming out from Xingqiu, and there is nothing you can do about that. Matu just too far on the front lines for his team to follow.
Beautiful tossback from Xingqiu. The damage from the double damage Lina looking absolutely ridiculous. They just can't seem to kill him. Once Matu's down, Mickey tried his best, but he just doesn't have enough to get through both Ame and Nothing to Say, as Faith Beyond is finally starting to find these black holes, getting into the later stages of the game, and now well and truly feeling like LGD have taken control of this game.
Bristleback managing to get off 1,900 damage in that fight. That is all. Lina, 7,500.
Yeah, they just haven't been quite as connected on Liquid in these last couple of team fights. I think that the previous ones, it's been all 5 standing strong together, and the last couple of times, Xingqiu yoinking Matu back onto their side of the team fight.
Nothing to say, so low again, but those open wounds just blasting him back up to full HP, and now PSG.LGD, they've taken 1 lane of barracks, they're gonna take a second. Liquid, another buybacks to answer. Oh, by the way, they've got an Aegis and a Refresher Shard, in case you're wondering, so yeah, they are decked out.
Yeah, I don't know what you can really do on Liquid at this point. There's not too much more scaling for the Bristle. He is going to get his level 25 talent, which is a pretty big boost, but not as crazy as it once was. We're not going to be hitting that kind of 1,000 damage Bristleback mark. It's got to be some kind of pick-off. You know, find somebody in a side lane. Though I don't know if LGD have any reason to split up for the remainder of this game. They're already 2 lanes of racks up, so they can just ball for the rest of this.
Yeah, they're best friends now. They're going to hold hands and skip around the map together, and Liquid, they'll have a hard time breaking them apart. 3 years together, this team, the bond of friendship is very, very strong.
I don't think you want to play Red Rover against LGD. He's been sending Matu over every single time, and he's not very happy about it, I have to say.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, how else do you approach this fight though? Because there's no way you couldn't let anybody else go on the front lines here. Like, Matu is the best hero to get thrown into the entire team. No hero.
Yeah, you got to try and find Faith Beyond like they did in a couple of those previous fights, but he's got a Ninja Gear, so yeah, Ninja Gear, Octarine Core. He is permanently not spottable.
No. And in case you're worried about nothing to say, he now has an Aegis, the open wounds healing, which is basically Satanic, then an actual Satanic. And just in case it goes really, really wrong, they've got a Wind Waker now as well, who is just going to throw back Boxy and then Wind Waker himself down to the low ground style points. As he just flies on out of there. Black Hole coming down onto Matu and Matu just beeline it throw. Hold number 2, catching out 3. Absolutely beautiful stuff from Fate Beyond. The buyback is there from the Bristleback. It's not though from the Leshrac, baiting them out with the first hole, jumping through for the second, and that's the big one. Catches 3. PSG.LGD looking to end this game in style. The buybacks are out, and they're going to respect them. They're in no hurry to really push this too hard.
A little bit of a moment of like, oh, you didn't call GG. Okay, I guess we'll have to keep going. Actually, getting the damage onto Ame. They thought the game might be over.
He manages to do it, and now they will gun down Matu. Matu kept alive narrowly by Insania. The Soul Rip doing the work to get the Bristle to safety, but they're trying to hold their high ground right now, and with their Bristle back in the fountain, healing up, hitting the showers. LGD there just going to take down the final lane of Barracks. Jinkyu looking for a toss back, doesn't really find it here, still has that Wind Waker to work with should he really need it, but good chilling, good vibing, no worries. Tombstone easily killed off by nothing to say. The machine gun is going strong. Ratatatata, gotta do something here, Liquid. And another toss back, this time onto the Bristleback as he gets devoured by nothing to say. Nothing to say, look at order the next target. That's gonna be Boxy. GG called for game number 1. And it will go to PSG.LGD in true LGD style.